Well, how do you do, buckaroos? This is Joe Layton of Cowboys and Indians magazine, and I'm very happy today to be talking to Jack Elliott, who plays Bat Masterson in the INSP series Wild West Chronicles, which is returning for a third season. But I guess that's not the only good news. It's also been signed on for a fourth season. So, congratulations on getting the steady employment, Jack.
Thanks so much, Joe. Appreciate it. Feels good. Feels good.
Well, when you walk around in public now, do people come up to you and expect you to tell them, thrilling tales of the Wild West?
Not yet. I haven't had any of those instances yet, but I've received some really kind fan mail, some really sweet. Um, I actually had a gentleman about 35 years old reach out via Instagram, said he does a weekly dinner with his grandparents. They sit down and religiously watch the show. So lots of really great feedback from fans of the show, but nothing in person on the street yet.
Well, now you had a little bit of a jump on this series because you had played Bat Masterson before, right?
I have, yeah. I was privileged enough to be cast in 2015 on a American Heroes Channel show by the name of Gunslingers. And
Right.
it's one of those docudramas. They have the talking heads coming in all the time, giving you the information, and then little recrees going on in the background. We were
Hmm.
nominated for 2 Emmys, which was very cool.
Right.
But just had a blast doing that. It was a one-off though. It was a single episode.
Mhm. Right. Right.
And then made some really great friends on that. Fast forward, I think it was 4 years later, I got a random phone call out of the blue from a producer saying, "We're doing a new show. Heard you played Bat Masterson before. Would love to have you audition." In fact, it was a buddy I met on Gunslingers. He auditioned for the role of Bat Masterson, and he was like, I wouldn't be that good in this role, but I know a guy that would. So that's
Yeah.
that's uh, that's how I got it.
Well, now, what about the character doing your research for, Gunslingers, but also this series, surprised you the most?
Before Gunslingers, I didn't know much about Bat. My dad and I watched a lot of westerns growing up. One of his favorite shows was Bat Masterson. Riflemen Have Gun Will Travel. So I kind of knew a little bit about Bat, but not until I really delved deep into the research part of it did I find out what a Renaissance man he was, truly.
Do you ever find yourself while shooting a scene thinking, now, what would Gene Barry do in this situation?
Honestly, Joe, I having had that understanding of what an iconic character Gene Barry had portrayed, I didn't watch any of it. I wanted to make Bat my own. I didn't want to have, I didn't want to be judging myself constantly in the back of my head. What would Gene Barry do? I kind of wanted to make Bat my own. You know, so I steered clear of it. Maybe someday I'll watch it because, like I said, I know it's an iconic portrayal. But yeah, honestly, I would go through my head before every scene. What would Bat Masterson do? How would he react in this scenario? Yeah,
I mean, you get to play cowboy,
right.
but you also get to play city slicker at the
Yeah.
same time. Uh, how much fun and how much of a challenge has that been
Oh,
for you?
right, right. I mean, it's been a blast, man. It's like you said, I get to play dress up. I've been doing it since I was a kid. I had the cowboy boots and the red hat and the bandana and all that stuff. It is such a trip to be able to step on set and hopefully step into Bat's shoes and portray him in an honest way. Something I've learned over time as I've gotten older is that the stuff you go through in your younger years really it can hopefully soften you a little bit. And I think I wanted to bring that across in Bat as the older Bat, that he's seen it, he's been there, he's done that, and he can bring a little bit of kindness, a little bit of softness to who he's interviewing and how he handles situations um, in his present life, 1900s.
Because that's an incredible time for this guy. He used to go to prize fights with Teddy Roosevelt and, hang out with Damon Runyon. And the conceit of the show of him going back to his old stomping grounds, I think, is an inspired one because, here you have, in effect, somebody who was witness in real life to a lot of these things going back. And, as Paul Harvey used to say, getting the story behind the story.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the guy was, like I said, a Renaissance man, and he really did earn his stripes in that first half of his life. And then, for all intents and purposes, really rode on that in the latter half of his life, being able to walk into a bar and have drinks bought for him, just walking around telling stories constantly, hobnobbing with Teddy Roosevelt, doing all of these things. There was a great thing that I found in my research. There's actually a clip of Bat Masterson, like a video clip of Bat Masterson, only clip anybody knows of. It's in the Jack Johnson and Jess Willard fight. It's on YouTube from early 1900s. First 4 minutes, you see a little clip, like 10-second clip of Bat Masterson. I think he takes off his hat and like salutes the camera or something like that. But the man was all over the map with the reporting and the hobnobbing and hanging out with who's who of the time. Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite among let's say the first 2 seasons?
Sure.
Do you have a favorite episode?
Okay.
Or is that like asking you what your favorite child is?
I mean, yeah, I love them all. I love them all equally. The child in me, though, was really excited about season 1, El Fuego Baca, because I grew up as a Disney kid, for a portion of it. And there was a little series they did on El Fuego Baca with Robert Loggia that I loved. So getting to see that come to life in season 1 was a real treat. I also really loved the I don't know if you know who, I'm sure you know who Charles Russell, the Western artist, is.
Oh, yes.
That last episode of season 1, I think, is where we really found our voice, found our tune, where we were going with the whole series. Like the series 1 is complete, but I think for me that was the one where I was like, that's where we're going. That's a good episode. That's full arc, great lighting, great camera work, great acting, the whole thing. Yeah.
Is there a particular Wild West legend you haven't covered yet? You, as Bat Masterson, have not interviewed yet, that you're really looking forward to? That maybe they're even teasing you. It's like, oh yeah, Jack, we'll do that in the 4th season. Come on back. Yeah.
Honestly, I would really like to see, and nobody said anything about this, but I would really like to see a little exploration in the relationship between Teddy and Bat, because I think it's rich. I think there's a lot there. I know they didn't really, hobnob a lot back in the Old West, but I think that a little exploration of that relationship would be kind of cool. Yeah, I think that's the one that's like right off the top of my head what I'm thinking of.
You've been very generous with your time. Thank you very much. Continued good luck and success with Wild West Chronicles, which is now about to start its 3rd season, and not too long in the future, we'll see your 4th season as well.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Joe. It was nice to meet you, and great talking with you.